Hello, everybody. It's the TV Optimist, and oh my God, we have a huge, gargantuan series to talk about today. Um, Only 7 seasons, but a lot of convoluted shit in this show. This is another series that my mom would watch, and I'd walk past, and I'd see her watching. I'd sit down for a second, like much like my father does. But what you watching? And I was like, I cannot see myself getting into the show. Fucking Jiminy Cricket is a man, but he's not, and fucking Peter Pan's a bad guy, and the fuck is going on with this show? And then I met my wife, and at the time, this was her favorite show of all time, and she's like, "I can't wait to watch you're a Disney fan. You have to like this show." No, I fucking don't. But I ended up liking it overall. That's why I'm optimistic about this review. But I feel like a lot of pessimism is going to come out revisiting some of these fucking seasons. Let's start with the first one. Um, Bail bonds collector Emma Swan is visited by her son she gave up years ago, Henry Mills, who's tracked her down to Boston, New York, from his hometown of Storybrooke, Maine. Upon taking him back to Storybrooke, Boston, New York. Upon taking him back to Storybrooke, she finds out his stepmother is Regina Mills, the mayor of Storybrooke, who turns out to be a total bitch. The thing is, Henry thinks everyone in town is actually a storybook character, with Emma being the savior who needed to be brought here to release them all from a curse Regina, aka the Evil Queen, put on all of them. Evil Queen from Snow White. Interstitched with flashbacks throughout every episode shows that Henry is actually right, and Emma needs just to believe to rescue everyone and wake them up. I saw my mom watching a couple of these episodes and was so fucking confused, so here goes nothing. My favorite episode, A Land Without Magic. Wow, so I was kind of unimpressed with the special effects at first and the borderline cheesy acting, but damn, it sucked me in. I was at the edge of my seat with that season finale, wondering if Emma would wake the town. I could go so much more in detail on all the characters, but there's just way too much to cover. I guess I gotta at least mention Mary Margaret, Henry's teacher, aka Snow White. Also, Emma's mom. David Nolan is like the sheriff in the fucking thing. He's a cop, aka Prince Charming, Emma's dad, and they find him at the beginning. He's in the woods unconscious, and they take him in. And they're like, I don't. They try to play like I don't know this guy, and then they make him a cop with, and Emma's like playing detective as well with him. There's Mr. Gold, the pawn shop owner, aka Rumpelstiltskin, and August Wayne Booth, aka Pinocchio, who knows about the curse as well. Great show. I'm actually looking forward to this one. Yeah, Pinocchio is a great character who they fuck up midway through, and then they kind of revive him, revive his character, so to speak. He doesn't die, but and Rumpelstiltskin is like the best part of the show. Mr. Gold is great. Also, he's the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and he's the son of Peter Pan. That first season's great. That first season's fucking awesome. The mixture of realism and the fantasy blended into one. Peanut butter and chocolate. Let's go. Season two. So, oh yeah, and then like Henry, to get her to believe he bites a poisoned apple that was meant for her, puts him into a sleeping curse. The same thing that she did with her stepdaughter, daughter-in-law, stepdaughter, Snow White. So she was gonna do this shit to her granddaughter-in-law. And Regina really does care about Henry, so that's pretty cool. Regina's a great character too. Once Upon a Time, season two. So Emma now believes she's officially the savior, and Mr. Gold, Rumpelstiltskin, has brought magic to Storybrooke, finally kind of merging worlds in a way. With magic, plenty of threats pop up, both magic and non-magic alike. My favorite episode was in Straight On Till Morning. I didn't exactly know what to expect at the beginning of the season, but by its end, I got too excited because I know what comes next because my mom watches the show religiously. So I can't wait to follow the second Star of the Right next season. Who knew I'd actually dig this show? Yeah, there's like fucking Sasha from Walking Dead and this other non-magic guy. They show up to try to take the magic, and that kind of goes nowhere. Like it's ended fast. It's like the fucking cannibals in Walking Dead. It's like you think this is gonna be this is gonna be all season. Nope. I'm about to sneeze. Season 3. Okay, so everything was hunky dory, peachy keen until Henry was thrown in a fucking hole to Neverland. where it turns out that Peter Pan is kind of a fucking asshole. Whatever, it's up to our Swan family and friends to save the little tyke. I remember the season the most from when I saw bits and pieces from my mom, and I was so excited to watch it. Going Home is my favorite episode. So, Once Upon a Time seasons are usually set in two halves, with both having separate stories. The first this time around, revolving around Neverland, was absolutely phenomenal. Definitely a story to save for the second half of the season, but whatever. The writers tried something ambitious and saved a different story for the second half, revolving around Oz, and it failed to live up to the first half of the season. I mean, come on, how are you going to top that? The finale was great for sure, but for sure, but not as great as the mid-season finale where the first half ended. Regardless, I'm ready to watch the next season. Yeah, the Oz season was like, who gives a fuck? And I forgot what her name is anyway. Like I really hated her. Recurring. Drizella, is that who it is? No. Yeah, Rebecca Mader plays the Wicked Witch of the West, aka Zelina, and she's the sister, the actual sister to Regina, the Evil Queen. And there's some okay. I think we'll get to it eventually. Once Upon a Time season 4. At the end of the last season, our hero thwarted the Wicked Witch of the West, Zelina. I remember seeing the finale way before I actually watched the show and seeing the familiar flow of Elsa's dress as a trail of ice followed her, and I rolled my eyes so hard. But now, hey, why not give it a shot? I made it this far after all. My favorite episode was Operation Mongoose Part 2. The season finale ended in such an insane way. I mean, the second half was already crazy enough, and the first half was a great start, by the way, as well. But oh my god, that ending. I'm too excited for the next season. Things are going to get dark. The first season was Frozen, and I kept thinking, they're going to fucking kill off Anna. They're going to kill Anna. And they got actresses that look so much like Anna and Elsa in real life. Kristoff, kind of, but Anna and Elsa, big time. In the second season, Rumpelstiltskin gives up the Dark One's power. There's a lot of shit I'm leaving out, but he's the Dark One. He has this dagger. He was a coward. He got hurt. His leg got fucked up, so he couldn't fight. They called him a big fat pussy, and then he ended up killing the Dark One, who I can't even remember who the Dark One was. When you kill the Dark One, you get the Dark One dagger. You get a bunch of magic, and that's what made him into Rumpelstiltskin, all glowing gold skin. Hee hee, yo. Magic comes with the prize, deity, yo. Fucking. And in essence, it also turned him into the Beast. Also, forgot to fucking mention, he's the crocodile that took Captain Hook's hand. Season 5. So, yeah, last season ended with a huge cliffhanger. Mr. Gold had the darkness expelled from his body, and Emma sacrificed herself by tethering her soul to the darkness. In doing so, she became the new Dark One. Oh, fuck. With the Savior, Emma Swan becoming the Dark Swan. What does this exactly mean? Well, this season planned on explaining that. But to make the first half about the story, they had to do a lot of dumb shit to drag everything along and rush the climax, which also somehow involved Hades. Favorite episode of Untold Story. This season was so fucking stupid, with some promising stories just falling by the wayside. The hype for Dark Swan was so real, and they just fell flat on their face by reusing idiotic ideas from past seasons. With that being said, the finale renewed that hype with another dumb reused idea. It's a real hit or miss situation, but I'm not giving up on the show this far in. That's not what I do. So yay, see you guys then. At this time, maybe it was 4 or 5, we meet Captain Hook. He's a villainous character, but he's fucking sexy. And Emma thinks so too, and she gets with him. But before that, she was with Neil. Neil was such a great character. You know him best as the villain on True Blood, the first season. If you've seen True Blood. I loved Neil. He was a thief. They both, like, Emma and him would run around stealing shit. That's how they survived. And they had Henry. And then she had to give him up. I think her father was like, you better fucking, or father, or, because she was an orphan, I think. And whoever her caretaker was, like, you need to give that fucking baby up. And she gave the baby up, despite not wanting to. But then Neil, spoiler alert, he dies. And then she gets the hook. I grew to finally enjoy their coupling, but I was like, this is so weird. Like, he's old as... Captain Hook is technically old as fuck, but they made him a sexy younger guy. I don't but yeah, the Dark Swan. The reused idea I was talking about was the forgetting curse. There's like a whole fog that goes over Storybrooke, and everyone forgets what the fuck's going on. Same shit happens in this one. It's like, who cares? And I think at one point Henry becomes the author. There's a guy that made up all the stories. He's the author, and it's kind of implied that that might be Walt Disney. That's what I got from it anyway, but it could be he's the author. He ends up dying, and whoever he gives his pen to is the new author. Henry becomes the new author, and that shit goes nowhere too. So, season 6. So I was cautiously optimistic about this season, with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde coming into Storybrooke along with other characters from the land of untold stories, and Regina's evil half, the evil queen, being unleashed. I saw potential. Also, with the rumor that this season would be the last, I thought, hey, at least they'll go out with a bang. Boy, oh boy, this season. Favorite episode, The Final Battle, Part 2. So all damn season, on top of the previous things I discussed, Emma was having visions and tremors. Visions of her untimely demise. She developed Parkinson's-esque like symptoms, rendering her magic useless. The Regina versus Evil Queen story was whatever, and all the new returning characters just didn't excite me, but there were a lot of good moments, especially that twist of an ending. I won't go into detail with the huge twist, even though it's common knowledge, but I will revisit it in next season's review. This had a great finale. Some would say it should have been the end, but hey, I'm so excited for the next season. I can't say I've been this optimistic for this show in a very long time. I can talk about it now, and I never reviewed it. It's 2021. I wrote this review in 2018. I just didn't fucking review the last season. I can't find it anywhere. And I looked it up on my flash drive. I didn't fucking review it. Same thing with Shameless season 8. For whatever reason, I skipped over this fucking season. So let's talk about the final season of Once Upon a Time. Yeah, they were talking about possibly canceling the show because the ratings weren't doing that well. They said when we're going to do a new season, we're going to go, season 7, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. It's a significant change for the series. Blah, blah, blah. Several years after the final battle, Henry Mills leaves Storybrooke in search of his own story, only to find himself in the new Enchanted Forest, where a conflict among its inhabitants culminates in the casting of a new curse that sends the new Enchanted Forest inhabitants to a Seattle neighborhood. In the past, before Henry left Storybrooke. As Henry's daughter Lucy sets out to restore his belief, Mother Gothel seeks to reclaim her former home by using her Coven of the Eight while avoiding Dr. Facilier, an a vengeful witch hunter. The breaking of the curse leads to the arrival of the Witch Realm version of Rumpelstiltskin, who seeks to destroy everyone's happiness. His defeat eventually led Regina to recast the Dark Curse one last time, which merges all the realms of story into one, the United Realms. It's funny that I talked about the cannibals. Andrew J. West, who played like the main cannibal Gareth in Walking Dead, is the adult Henry Mills. At the end of season 6, there's a knock at the door. A little hand comes up, opens the door. Hey, who are you? And she's like, Henry Mills. And he's like, yeah. Who are you? I'm Lucy. I'm your daughter. And he's like, and it's the same. It's a reused idea again. The same shit that happened in the first season. Hey, Emma Swan. I'm your son, Henry. So that got me like I'm so easy to fucking please. After all the shit that I've talked about this show, reusing ideas, that was like, yes, let's go. And this season was great. It needed some revitalization. It needed some rejuvenation. It needed something to make it feel better. That's what they did. They did the whole Lucy story. It's Lucy Mills. There is Dania Ramirez. She was in a bunch of shit too. She's Cinderella in this. There's a Cinderella that exists elsewhere where she's a white blonde chick. In this one, she's a Mexican chick. And some people got mad about that. They said she was a shitty actress. Why don't you just use the other Cinderella? That's what confused me too. But Henry soon finds out, as the author, he's traveling. He finds out, there's more characters, that there's different versions. People make different versions of things all the time. We're about to get a black Little Mermaid, a black Ariel. It makes sense. Okay, yeah, it makes sense that this would happen. There's different versions of different characters. So, with that being said, there's a Mexican Cinderella. Captain Hook shows up. Um, I think he's. I don't know. I don't know who he is. He loses his memory too. They're different characters. They're different people. They're not Regina, Evil Queen. She's not Regina here. She's Ronnie. She owns a bar. Um, there's. I thought there was. Yeah, no. There's Rapunzel, Lady Tremaine. She's fucking Rapunzel and Lady Tremaine. Get the fuck out of here. Tiana. She's a main character. Um, yeah, I thought that she was a big character too. Zelina comes back, but she's Kelly West in this one. But I slowly start remembering who they are, and they face off against Mother Gothel. And Regina combines all the realms. One last time, Dark Curse, but it's going to combine the realms. And happily ever after, finally. That's a great scene. She got everyone together, and they're like, yeah. And like, it seems like we're missing somebody. And here comes Emma Swan. Hey, and she has a baby with Hook now. And she's like, we're here. And they show up, and it's nice. It's a nice ending. Overall, fun series. A lot of shit pissed me off. Did I mention Pinocchio? Um, Geppetto, elderly Italian guy, is missing his son. His son became a real boy, but he didn't really. He's like made of wood still. Um, and they start. Oh, he starts to turn into wood, and once he turns into wood, he dies somehow. But he's laying down. He's turning into wood. No, he's like, you have to do something. So they wish him well somehow, and he turns into a little fucking boy with like a little fucking Peter Pan Robin Hood esque hat with a feather and shit. And it's like, the fuck is this Hansel and Gretel looking ass dude? And then they're like, hey, buddy, Pinocchio, we know that you've been turned into a child again. What's the deal? What's going on here? Like, do you remember who tried to attack you? No, I don't. It was so fucking stupid. I got so mad. Peter Pan's a great character. He's a huge asshole, and it's great that they did that to Peter Pan. Um, that's Once Upon a Time. I'm glad they ended it because they were like they would cast a fishing line out, and it's like they were like fishing for new ideas. And oh, here's a fucking beat up ass fucking gross seaweed covered moss covered tire. Fuck it. Let's cook that up. See what we can make out of it. That's basically what Once Upon a Time was. But yeah, next time I will talk about the one and only spinoff, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, and I'll see you guys next week to talk about that.